So in the previous class, we have discussed about the different controller. In last two classes, what we have discussed about the necessity of the controller, right? And then then we have discussed about the different types of controller in which we have started with the proportional controller and then the integral controller. And we have seen how the controller works in the proportional controller. You know, the error is just we have calculated with the help of the block diagram. You can see from this picture. Okay, so the error may be calculated with the feedback and the set point value. Okay, and that value, set point minus measured value, and this error is directly proportional, or you can say the control signal of the controller is directly proportional to that error. Okay, and some bias value is added to that. I've already told how this bias value and why this bias value is added to here, right? And then we have already seen how the proportional band or the proportional controller is represented in the digital form, right? And it is represented in the proportional band. Basically, we are increasing the proportional band with the help of 10% to 20% and so on, and up to the 100%. We have seen the relation between the gain and the band. Okay, so here also we have seen some transfer function, how the transfer function of the proportional control has been defined. Okay, and then I think it is the integral controller, and integral controller the error is directly proportional to, you can see here, the integral in the integral controller the error is directly proportional to uh, the control output directly proportional to the integral of that error, and due to the integration the response becomes sluggish in this case. Okay, and this control is also called as the reset or the floating control. Okay, and there's a term 1 upon tau I, and this tau I is very important and known as the integral time as well as the reset time. And due to the reset time, this is known as the reset controller or the floating controller. We have seen we have already find the transfer function and also the steady state error. In the steady state error, we have seen the steady state error. The in ideal case, the steady state error of the integral controller becomes 0, and therefore it removes the offset problem of the proportional controller. But at the same time, it is a sluggish. It is very slow due to the integration of that error. Okay, until unless the error will not come 0, the integration will go down. Okay, and therefore it is the one of the sluggish system, and therefore the PI control is come to the picture. We have taken the advantage of the proportional controller and the integral controller, and we defined the proportional controller has the disadvantage of the offset, but having the good response, having this, you can say, the faster response as compared to the integral controller. However, in the integral controller, the error is, you can say the steady state error is 0, or you can say the minimum. Okay, but there's a problem of the sluggishness in this integral controller, and we combine the both of the controller, controller, then we can say that the you know offset value is, you can say, remove at the fastest response system. Okay, and therefore this is the PI control. Okay, and then okay, so this is the PI, all about the PI controller we have already seen, and this is the expression for the PI controller. We have found the transfer function for the proportional integral controller. Okay, P dash S is equals to, this one is the transfer function 1 upon operator. This is the for the proportional, and for this is for the integral term, right? We have also seen what will happen when the step input will given. Okay, and when the step input will given, the such type of response will also come. We have seen the when the error is provided in the form of sine omega t, sinusoidal input is given, then we have seen the response of the system, and the response system is coming like this one. And due to this picture, due to this expression, we can say that to this negative sign, sine omega t minus tan inverse 1 upon omega ti. we can say that this is the lag, this behavior is resembles with as to the lag compensator or the low pass filter, right? So now what is the reason? There's a problem. There's in the there's some type of problem, a disadvantage you can say in the integral controller. First is the sluggishness, second is the oscillatory response, and third the reset wind up. This is the reset wind up. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about the reset wind up. Okay, what is the reset wind up? Okay, a reset wind up. Okay, see. So this is the now we are going to discuss the reset wind up. Is my voice audible to all of you? Okay. So we are going to discuss about the reset wind up. Is my voice audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the most important topic, this is the reset wind up. In the reset wind up, you can see that this, let's say this is the response of any system. Okay, this is the response of any system, plus minus plus minus, and it will come due to the sustained oscillation. You have to remember sustained oscillation. Sustained oscillation. Okay, this is the oscillation will come due to the integral controller. Okay, until unless this error will not become zero, this integral controller will work, and the response will come into the picture. The response will continue, right? This is a continue until unless this error become not zero. Okay, so due to this plus minus, the positive area, negative area, positive area, negative area, overall when it calculated by algebraically, it becomes zero. Okay, and this is known as the reset wind up, or you can say an inherent disadvantage of the integral controller. The phenomenon is known as reset wind up. And why it is zero? Why it is how it is come? Integral mode cause the controller output to change as long as error is not equal to zero. The until error is not equal to zero, the integral controller continue. And when a sustained error occurs, you can say when a sustained error occurs, the integral term becomes quite large. The integral term, obviously it becomes very very large until unless it becomes zero. So when a sustained or error occurs, the integral term becomes quite large and the controller output event saturates. It becomes saturated. Okay, it saturates, not will you can say the error become not zero. So it is saturated when the error is sustained. Okay, so and at this type of in this type of problem, so when the controller is saturated, it is referred as, this phenomenon is known as the reset wind up or integral wind up. I am repeating once again, what is this integral controller? In integral controller, you know that until unless the error of the integral of the error is not zero, then till the controller will continue. कंट्रोलर चलता रहेगा जब तक ये जीरो नहीं हो जाए. होता क्या है, जब तक अगर कोई सस्टेन्ड एरर आया, if the sustained error will occur in the system, the integral term will continue, and until ये continue उस समय तक होगा जब तक कहेंगे कि ये इसकी वैल्यू बहुत लार्ज हो जाएगा. It will continue, and therefore due to this large value of the integral, the controller output saturates. Yes, it will saturated, and this saturated value, due to this saturation, this phenomenon is known as the reset wind up or the integral wind up. Okay, so you can see from this picture. Okay, so indicated area under the curve point provided the positive value and the negative value. You can see here positive value and the negative value. Contributions or to the integral term depending on whether the measurement of the controller variable ym is below or above the set point, right? The larger overshoot occurs because the integral term continues to increase until the error signal change sign at t equal to t1. Obviously, the sign will change at t equal to t1. Okay, the larger overshoot will come, the undershoot will come, and therefore this is the quite large value. It is a quite large value due to this overshoot or undershoot, right? And how, why this will come? This will come due to the sustained error. Okay, when the oscillation will come, such type of the response will come into picture. Okay, the large overshoot occurs because the integral term continues to increase until the error signal changes sign at equal to 1. Only then does the integral term begin to decrease, right? धीरे धीरे it will decrease. So after the integral term become sufficiently small, the controller output moves away from the saturation limit, or it will, जैसा जैसा आपका इंटीग्रल टर्म खत्म होता जाएगा, कम होता जाएगा, आउटपुट अपने आप सैचुरेट लिमिट से हट जाएगा. तो reset wind up will occurs when the PI or PID controller, whenever the I controller encounters sustained error. It will always remember this term is remember, point to remember. Whenever the sustained error will come, the PI, the integral or the PID controller reset wind up will come into the picture. Reset wind up come into the picture. Okay. During the startup of a process or after a large set point change, or when it will come, so when sustained error will come, sustained error generally occurred at the time of a startup, or the, when the process is going to end. Okay, during the startup, generally the process or after last set point change, or whenever you going to change the set point from, let's say, last set point, let's say the flow in any system is, let's say, 1600 kg per hour. Okay, and suddenly you have changed to the 46 kg per hour. Okay, so this change is very very large. Okay, and due to this large value, or you can say this sustained value, the the reset wind up of type of problem will come into the picture. Okay, so it can also occur with a large sustained disturbance. That is the same, sustained disturbance or sustained error. Most of the time both are the same. Okay, so now come to the next, that is the derivative controller. Okay, so how the anti wind up, or the reset wind up will removed. Okay, the question will maybe asked, how, what the what is the procedure to avoid the reset wind up. Okay, so for the reset wind up, you can say you have to avoid the sustained error you have to avoid. Okay, you have to avoid with the sustained error, nothing else. Okay, now come to derivative controller. Derivative control, or it is also called the anticipatory control. It is the derivative control or the anticipatory control, a rate control, or pre-action control. Why it is called anticipatory control, or the rate control, pre-action? You can see from this example. What is the derivative control? First, I will clear you. The function of decontrol action is to anticipate the future. Anticipatory means, the prediction. Okay, prediction of the future, or you can say the anticipate the future behavior of the error signal by considering its rate of change. मतलब ये हुआ कि अगर rate of change को देखते हुए, can you predict the future value? If yes, then this is the task of the decontrol. Let's say, this is an example. Suppose that the reactor temperature, let's say the reactor temperature increased by 10 degrees Celsius in a short period of time, say 3 minutes. 3 मिनट में 10 डिग्री सेल्सियस बढ़ रहा है. तो यू कैन से दैट आफ्टर 3 मिनट में 10 डिग्री सेल्सियस बढ़ रहा है, तो 30 मिनट में किस तरह से टेम्परेचर बढ़ेगा, हाउ मच द टेम्परेचर विल इंक्रीज इन लास्ट 30 मिनट्स. You can say that when if you know that the rate of the temperature with the time, it is clear. If it is known, then you can say that after 20 minutes, after 30 minutes, what will happen with the temperature. This clearly is more rapid increase in temperature than 10 degrees Celsius rise in 30 minutes, and it could indicate a potential runaway situation for the exothermic reaction. You can predict the behavior. Okay, if the reactor were under manual control, an experienced plant or operator would anticipate the consequence and quickly take appropriate corrective action to reduce the temperature. So what does it mean? It means, what is the use of that derivative controller? The derivative controller means, if you are able to know if you are able to predict the behavior, okay, of upcoming time, then you can take the corrective action for that for that behavior. Okay, if the behavior required some correction. Okay, so this is the derivative controller, right? So come to the mathematics of the derivative controller. When you come to the mathematics of derivative controller, then the derivative controller, the output of, the output of the controller output is directly proportional to the rate of change of the error, right? The rate of change of the error. Okay. So controller output is equal to the nominal value at p bar as long as this value. Okay, d by dt is equals to 0, right? So therefore derivative action is never used alone. Okay, so controller output is equal to the nominal value p bar as long as error is constant, means de by dt, okay, is 0. So therefore derivative action is never used alone. It is always used the conjunction of some controller p or PI controller, PID controller, right? So and when you calculate the error, steady state error, just calculate. Let's say 1 upon 1 plus tau s is the process dynamics, okay, and ut, or you can say 1 upon s is that's the input. So when you calculate the ESS, what is the formula for this? Limit s tends to 0, s into rs upon 1 plus GSHS, right? When you put the all the value, okay, and what is the transfer function of the system? What is the transfer function of the system? So when you calculate the transfer function, pt ps, okay, pt minus p bar will come, and this is the tau d de by dt, right? Tau d, what is tau d? Tau d is the derivative constant, okay, and this is the p bar, okay, and tau d de by dt, okay. So when you take the Laplace, p bar s is equals to becomes tau d s into es, right? S into es, so p bar s upon es is equals to tau d s. So this is the Laplace transform, or you can say the transfer function for the derivative controller. So tau ds is we have taken the you can say the this one, and 1 upon tau, 1 upon 1 plus tau s, 1 upon 1 plus tau s we have taken as a system dynamics. Okay, the you can see here we have taken rs is equals to 1 upon s square. It means here we have taken rt, ramp function, not the ut, not ut, not ut. Anyone can tell me why we have not taken ut here? We have taken rt, ramp function, ramp function. Anyone can tell me? Anyone can have answer why we have not using we are not supplying the step input in the case of the derivative controller generally? Anyone?
Because if we use step input, then we'll get impulse
Impulse, very
as the
good,
def here.
very good. Then
So
the
we
d
are
by
using
dt
ramp.
of when we provide this et, it will provide it will provide the some the impulse, and impulse will jerk the jerk the system, and it will destroy the system, and therefore we are not using the system, okay, and therefore the control action is never used alone, and it is used with some proportional PID controller, right? So this is an ideal PID controller has a transfer function. This PI controller, this is the PD controller. So okay, PD control का transfer function क्या होगा? So this is for the proportional and this is for the derivative. Okay. So derivative is what is the advantage and what is the disadvantage? So when we saying the disadvantage, you can say the error. The error is infinite. The error is infinite. Yani error is maximum. However, the speed is very fast. The speed is very fast to can predict the future. Okay, this is the advantage of the derivative controller. So derivative control action also tends to improve the dynamic response of the control variable by decreasing the process settling time. Okay, settling time will decrease, dynamic response will improve, but at the same time the error will increase if the process measurement is noisy. That is, if it contains high frequency, very important, very important. If the process measurement is noisy, that is, if it contains high frequency, random fluctuation, then derivative of the measured variable will change widely and derivative action will amplify the noise unless the measurement is unfiltered or filtered. Okay, so I will discuss more about this in the next class or tomorrow. Okay, so I am just stopping.